Hello, good morning, everybody. Let's get the clock back up there and run out our remaining minute in here and change and whatever the heck it is. How's everybody doing today? How y'all? Hopefully we're having a good day out there. Hopefully people having a good morning. Yes, I see the excitement in the chat room already. It's going to be a fun show. It's a cool little product, cool little device. And FYI, I'll say it again during the main show, but thanks to Platypod, they are actually in the chat room with us today. So if you have any questions that I can't answer or you just want to ask questions during the show that they can answer, then by all means, go for it. Oh, Ryan, I need things to record the show on, too. My drives are a little vacant out here. Might be a little bit of a late start here. We'll wait for that to come in here. Hello from Sao Paulo. Excellent. Who else is here? Excellent. Look at a lovely chat room full of folks today. That is always good. And if you're watching live and you haven't participated in the chat yet, you should. You can do that on mobile. You can do it on any platform. It's kind of awesome. My thing is feeling a little weird in my ear. That's why I keep... What is that? I wonder why that is today. Figure something out here. I don't know what's going on here. No idea. There we go. That's better. Here we go. Drives and drives. Thank you. We need these to record the show, or else we don't have a recorded show later. That's bad. I got to download the thing off you, or use my backup. But anyway, we like having the recorded show. All right, look at that. Clock's at 0. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no. Who needs to start on time? Starting on time is for amateurs. Amateurs. So incidentally, Burns said in the chat, and we're seeing it here too, that there's been some buffering going on. We've been getting the last few shows, like right now, it says stream status bad. I'm actually going to wait for it to clear up because it comes and goes. I'm going to have to reboot. Should have done this before the show today, but we didn't realize until we started it up. Just going to reboot everything because we're definitely having a little, and the Facebook stream, because then that'll focus just on YouTube. And yeah, it's just a thing to say, quality good before we start the show because we want to make sure that we have a good quality show for y'all. Let's see here. While that's happening, I'm going to change something up over here while Ryan's killing those streams, and we are waiting. I'm going to set this up over here. There we go. That's all set and better. Excellent. Okay, cool. Ryan, I'm hitting record over here since you're messing around with that stuff there. And Burns saying maybe try to turn off the low latency. So YouTube, just for those who don't stream on YouTube, there's 3 different settings for your streaming. There's like normal, low latency, and ultra low latency. And the more towards normal, you have less chance of buffering. Basically, YouTube is caching before it pushes out to you. But that means there's a delay, so it makes the real-time chat very, very difficult. Going to the lowest stage, the fastest, the nearest to real-time, is where I'm always running the show because we have data and then push out a full stream. I don't know that would help. I don't know. We're just going to have to reboot everything. Oof, we're still at bad quality. What is that all about? For you guys who are watching live, how is it right now? Is it bad right now, or should I just continue on? Because we're still showing bad on this end, and that is definitely not good. But there's only so much we can do without rebooting everything, and we can't do that. We can't do it in the middle of the show. I know, that's fine. Ryan's telling me the clock's still up. That's okay. You guys who are watching live, tell me is it like totally unusable right now, and if not, we're just going to go for it. But I'm waiting. It's 360p and then drops. Burns says, "Yikes." Monaco says it's okay there. Need to remind the guy at the exchange that I need the super duper bandwidth. It's actually probably worth a phone call into them again. We are supposed to get gigabit this year. This year is 3/4 of the way over, so I don't know what's going on, but man, I'm still waiting for that. Bart says it looks good. Still says bad on this end. I don't know, Ryan, what do you think? You killed the other 2? Other 2 are killed. Dead and buried. Tomas says it's better now. Okay, maybe we're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. All right. Let's have a show, because we got a show to do. We can't sit around here all day long. Let's get rid of the screen there. There we go. Rob says it's getting better. Okay, all right. And everybody says it's getting better, so that's good. All right, excellent. Excellent. All righty. Let's see if I can I have an opening planned. We're going to see if I can get it in the first take, because it's a good opening. It's a good opening. All right, should we do this or record? Oh, I probably should hit record. Oh, Jesus. It's one of those days where there's always something. Nope, now I got to reboot So meanwhile, we got Platypod in the audience going, dude, I thought this was a professional show. Fooled you. Yeah. My recorder needs to be rebooted as well, apparently. There it goes. Okay. Now we can do a show. Now that's recording. Don't ever rely on the internet. And Ryan says I seem out of sync. Even better. Good grief. Well, that, my friends, is going to be a fix it in post. Let's get on with the show, shall we? The platypus is an aquatic... No, that's wrong. See, I already got it wrong. Yeah. Let's try that again. You didn't know this was hiding back here, did you? The platypus is a duck-billed aquatic mammal that lays eggs. The platypod is a spike-footed camera support that fits in your pocket. We're going to be talking about one of these on today's show. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live 3 times a week show here at youtube.com/PhotoJoseph every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, talking about photography, video, live streaming, and all kinds of fun things related. This is a live show. If you're watching it and you're not live, you should be live because then you get to participate in the chat like this. You come up in the chat room, you say my name, I see your question, and we address them. We typically do that at the end of the show. We'll do a second round of this where we go through and answer all your questions. And they don't have to be just about today's topic. They can be about whatever you want, but obviously today's topic is the topic we most want to discuss. So today's topic is this thing called the Platypod. This one specifically is the Platypod Ultra. And a special thanks out to the folks at Platypod who gave this to me and gave one of these to all of these speakers at the Out of Chicago conference that many of you missed, but not all of you, because some of you were there earlier this year. Fantastic conference, by the way. If you ever get a chance to attend, please do. And this was in our speaker gift goodie bag, which was fantastic. And it's one of those things I've seen many, many times before and thought, well, I should get one of those. And I just never did. So now I've got one, and I'm very happy to have it in my hands. Platypod, by the way, is here in the live chat today. So if you have any questions about the product that I don't know the answer to, or that you just don't want to wait for me to get to, by all means, post them in the comments, tag Platypod in them, and they will address the question for you right away. So with that said, what is this thing? This thing is essentially a camera support. I don't want to call it a tripod. It could be a tripod if you put 3 spikes in it, but it is a camera support that is very, very versatile. Let's take a close-up look at the product itself. Let's go in for a little close-up view here. It is a hunk of chunk of metal with a bunch of funny holes in it. We'll go through kind of what all these are, and a 3/8/16 post on the bottom there. That allows you to screw in something like a ball head that would attach onto there, at which point you could then put your camera on top of all of that. This thing here also comes with a bag full of spiky feet, very, very sharp spiky feet. Don't drop that on your foot. And a carabiner to hold it all together, and a Velcro strap, all of which are very useful for connecting this thing to other things. So here's effectively how it works. At its most base level, don't just forget about all this for a moment, you can take this with a ball head, put this on here. That was loud in the microphone, I realize, I'm very sorry. Metal on metal is a bad combination. Put this on here, attach your camera to this. Let's go ahead and do that actually, why not? I'm gonna put my camera onto here. And then what we've got is a lovely little platform to put my camera on. So I can position this wherever I want, right? And now obviously at some point, if I go crazy leaning far this way, it's gonna fall over, right? I mean, you gotta balance it. But the idea here is that I can now put my camera anywhere at a low position on the floor, trunk of a car shooting out, great for photo and video. And you can put it wherever you like. And it's not just about your camera. You can put a light on here. You could put a monitor. I actually attached a Atomos Ninja monitor to this and had it on the floor for a shoot I was doing last week. And I was like, I need to tilt this. How am I going to tilt this thing up? And I thought, the Platypod. Perfect. Put this on the floor and away you go. So notice that at this point, we haven't attached any of the accessories. This is an important thing. You don't actually need to use the accessories. If the surface you're resting it on is relatively flat, then away you go. You got your ball head and off you go on it. Now, I am going to point out one thing that I think I would like to see as a design change, and this is something that I think would be quite useful, and maybe they've already considered this, and there's a reason they haven't done it. But the post on the bottom of this is a 3/8/16 post, so that's what we're looking at here. This is a big ol' 3/8/16 on it, which means I cannot put my camera directly on it. While I realize that the use of this would be somewhat limited, there's not that many situations where you could just put that on there and that would be useful, I think there might be some, especially when we start screwing in 1 or 2 of the spikes. And I would like to see the ability to mount this directly to the camera. Being that it's a 3/8/16 and not a 1/4-20, you can't. Now the manufacturer could create this with a 1/4-20 post and then have a 3/8/16 adapter on it. That would be totally viable. It couldn't be a retractable one like this. This is my Manfrotto ball head. This has this cool retractable post. You couldn't do that because there's nowhere for it to retract down to, but there absolutely are collars, basically a hollow screw bit, if you will, that you can screw over the 1/4-20 to make it a 3/8/16. That's a design change that I would love to see because I think that would make it more useful without having to have the ball head. As it is right now, you have to have some type of a head, preferably a ball head, to attach onto here. And obviously, if you have a ball head, that's going to make it the most versatile, right? Then you can tilt it anywhere you want. But if putting it straight forward worked for you, then, well, maybe you could get away without it. In fact, what I did do is I grabbed out of my studio kit and caboodle bag a adapter. This is a 5/8/16 to 1/4 inch adapter. Obviously, it's got some distance on it because you can't shrink down in size from big to small without defying the laws of physics. But that means I can put that on there and then attach this to the camera, and this works relatively well. Now it does. Let's see here. So there, you can see now it's kind of flat on there, and if I do a close-up of that, you can see it's just kind of sitting and hovering on there. So limited usefulness at this stage, I admit, but I would like to have that option. Other than that, I think the product's just about dang perfect. So let's go through what all these different holes are on here, because there are some interesting little holes on here that are very, very useful. So you've got, let's kind of run around them. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 holes for specifically mounting in the spiked feet. And we'll take a look at that in a moment. You do not have to use all 4. Well, you can't use all 5 because there's 4 screws. But you don't have to use all 4 of them. You can use 3 or 2 or 1 of them. And that's one of the big things we'll look at. There are countersunk screw holes in here, which is really cool. So you could screw this onto a wall, onto a wooden platform, whatever. You could just screw that in. You could nail it in, obviously, if you got big enough nail heads. And then there are these straps here, these holes, kind of ridges here, that are designed for this strap. So you could just take this strap, put that on like so, and then this is the big Velcro strap that it comes with, and now you can attach this to a tree or telephone pole or whatever. So you could mount it, you'd want to do it like this, have gravity be in your favor. You can mount it like this, have your ball head here, your camera sticking out, and so on. So there's an option as well. It's a lot of different ways to connect it. That's kind of the fun thing about it. It's like a cheese plate for cinema, if you know what that is. You have the ability to mount all kinds of things to it. It has a variety of screw holes on here that are either 1/4 20 or 3/8/16. So you have standard camera photographic mount size screw holes on here ready to go. Pretty slick. And then there's holes here for like the carabiner. Like I said, it comes with a carabiner, so you could just kind of put all the little stuff together if you wanted to do something like this and hang this on the outside of your bag, or just to keep everything together. And it comes with this little carabiner as well. Let's take a quick look. We're gonna mount the screws up in here as well, but let's take a real quick look over at the B&H page. On B&H, I just did a quick search for Platypod. There's a variety of sizes, well, 2 sizes. There's the Platypod Max, which is the big version, and this comes with a ball head, and that's 168. The one that I've got in my hands right now is the Platypod Ultra with the accessory kit, and this one is $79. So super affordable. I think at 79 bucks, this is a really good price. It's an easy thing to have in your bag, and then you can get different kits with other accessories on them as well. But there's 2 different sizes, the Ultra plate, which is what I'm holding, and the Max, which is for bigger things. What's interesting is the sizes it says it'll support, the weights. Let's see, where did I see the weight on this one? I don't see the weight listed on here, but it was something like 200 pounds. You got this big one here, versatile design, holds up to 300 pounds. If you got a 300-pound camera, like, dude, we got to talk. But that's awesome. So the thing is seriously built to handle some weight, was what it comes down to. So, kudos to that. So 2 different sizes of the product. This is the smaller one, the Ultra, ready for, I mean, you could put any size camera in there. Let's face it, you could put a full-size DSLR in here. Maybe you wouldn't want to do a medium format camera, but I think you could definitely do a normal big camera in here. And obviously for mirrorless, it's fantastic. So let's take a look at the spike thing, because this is one of the really cool things that it does. Let's go for it. Let me pull out the spikes, and we're just going to take one of this to get a close-up of this thing. You can see the spikes the way these are. They have a little rubber cap on the end of it for gripping onto, and then a collar to tighten down if you really want to lock it into position. And the idea here is quite simple. You just take this and screw it into one of the 5 or many of the 5 holes on there. So you can get this thing on here. You can get it on pretty quick. I don't recommend doing this when it's full of spikes and let it go and it flying. That probably would be bad. But here at this point, we now have a spike, right? It is now tilted up and ready to go. At this point, it's almost like a tripod. Look, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points hitting the ground. This is often all you need. I mean, sometimes you just need the platform itself. You put this on, and now you can tilt it at an angle. We get a second one, and we put it in here, and let's screw this one into this point here. And we'll just go a little bit into here, and now we're putting it at some other kind of funky, jaunty angle. And the idea being that you can get this to a point of stabilizing it to wherever you like. And this comes back to the reason why I think you may not always need to have a ball head on there. At this point, obviously, I would not be able to put the camera like this, but I could put the camera at an angle on there if I could tighten it in, and then I could have the spike feet angle it however I need and try and get it stable, or try and get it level. It's not just about getting it level, though. Having these spikes that you adjust is not just about leveling this out, because if you have a ball head on, then level doesn't matter, right? You adjust it however you like. The folks at Platypod actually sent me a couple of pictures. Here we go. just showing different ways that it can be used. So this is what I just showed you, but this is really cool, using it to hang it off of an object. So you kind of hang it off of a rock here. You got the two big spikes over here that are being used as a hanging support, and then let gravity do the rest of the work and hold it into place. So a lot of different ways to mount it and put it together into a clever little way to hold your camera. I think it's really pretty cool. So I've had this for a little while. I've just started using it. I really just started using it here in the studio. Like I said, I had the Atomos monitor on it when I wanted to put that on the floor. At one point I used it to strap a camera to my rigging on here. I just used the strapped it to the rigging. That works out great. I'm looking forward to finding a lot more other uses for it. This does live in my bag now, so this is one of those things that you always have with you. And since it does collapse up so small, you take out the spiked feet and this whole thing goes down really, really little, then there's no excuse not to have it with you, right? I mean, like this, and away you go. And you're set, and that's all there is to it. So pretty neat little setup. I'm digging it. I am digging it. So out there in the chat room, tell me, and the live audience, tell me, do you have one of these? What clever, interesting uses have you come up with for it? I'd love to hear about it, because there are the obvious, what it's designed for uses, but the way it's designed, it really is created so that you can do just about anything you want with it. And I'd love to hear what you guys might be doing with it. I will be, you know where I'm going to take this thing? You know where this thing is going to come in really handy? Ooh, let me tell you, this thing is going to come in really handy in India. This is going to be awesome when I go to India. So if you haven't seen this yet, and I'm sure you have if you watch the show, we are going to India next year, the early part of the year. We're going to a few different cities in India to see a bunch of amazing and incredible things and people and places, and you can learn all about it at photojoseph.com/India. Do check that out if you have any interest in attending a workshop/photography tour with me and a few fellow photo enthusiasts, then check it out, photojoseph.com/India. It's going to be a ton of fun. Hopefully I'll see some of you out there. That would be awesome. All right, guys, we're going to do the Q&A next. Again, we do have Platypod in the live audience today, so if you've got tough questions that I can't answer, they will do their best to answer them for you, and I will be here as well. So with that, let's switch over to the Q&A. Good morning and welcome back to Photo Joseph's Photo Moment. We're talking about the Platypod, not the platypus. We threw that one away. The Platypod, this really clever camera mounting device that is very, very useful and cool and fits in your pocket. This is the Q&A, so if you've got any questions, throw them up into the chat room right now. You can, if you type Photo Joseph next to it, then I know that you've got a question, and I'll see them like these here. And the first thing I'm going to actually address is something Sarah said, which is interesting. He says, not a cabin luggage compatible due to the spikes. That's an interesting question. I don't think that would be the case, but Platypod have, there we go, Platypod right there, saying we've taken dozens of these spikes on airplanes many times, have never been stopped by TSA. Oh, so that's good to know. Because, yeah, it's spiky, but there you go. Good to know. That's a great observation, sirs. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, let's go back to the beginning here and see what's going on. So again, Platypod is here in the audience. Good morning, greetings. Thank you very much for tuning in today. And let's get to the actual questions here. Tomaj in Sao Paulo. We're talking about YouTube. We're having some YouTube issues before the live show. And we'll get to the actual questions. There we go. We're still talking about the live show. Audio sync issues. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's no actual questions. We'll get to this eventually. Here we go. BurnsTech. This device, speaking of this, would make it so much easier than trying to use one of those GorillaPod flexible tripods for low shots. Yes. I find the flexible mounts to be too flexible. I totally agree. I love the what are these things called? What did you got? You named it, didn't you? GorillaPod. Yeah, the GorillaPods. I love the GorillaPod. I think it's really cool. I hope Casey owns stock in them because he kind of did the whole holding the camera out in front of you thing. They're great, but yes, there are times where it's like you try to get in place and it wants to bend. It's just not quite right. Yeah, this thing is not going to bend. This is not bending. You get this into place and you are set and ready to go. You put 4 spikes in this thing and jam it into a soft, rotten tree and you're set, and then the thing is not going anywhere. There's a lot of really clever uses for it. And the fact that these spikes are on here does mean that you could jam it into something. Sand, if you want to put this on sand and not have it slide around, put these all 4 feet in there, screw them all the way down, and they have a nice long thing to sink into the sand. That'd work pretty well. Not quicksand, that'd be bad. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. SRO Digital, have you tried it yet in the kitchen when cooking and out in the garden when barbecuing? Well, when I'm barbecuing, it's up high, so I don't barbecue on the ground, so it wouldn't really work out for me there. The kitchen would be cool, though, actually. That could be cool to mount it if you wanted to do like a, There you go. You're doing a cooking show and you're chopping, and you want to have a camera really nice and close to the chopping block. That's perfect. You could use that to position it right there. Ooh, good call. I don't do cooking videos, but now I may have to go do one. Sounds like fun to me. Platypod pointing out that GorillaPods are great, but they take up a lot more space in your bag. Absolutely, they do. They are bigger. Let's see. Any other questions? If we don't have any questions, yeah, you know the routine, guys. Get your questions in. Get them in quick. We're gonna end the show with just those few questions, and then those who are watching it afterwards are like, "That's it. That's all I got to learn in the Q&A today." But you can ask anything you want. You know the routine. You know the routine. Speaking of barbecuing, man, what is it like? What's our air quality today out here? You don't have to barbecue anymore. You just set raw meat outside, and in 24 hours, it's done. Let's see here. It is. Oh, look, it got better. It's 189. It was 240 when I got up this morning. Man, somebody's got to stop burning down the West Coast. This is totally not cool. Really, really tired of all this. Wayne saying perfect for macro photo shots. Absolutely. That's one of the great uses of this. You know, if you have a regular tripod, a full-size tripod, and you're out doing nature macro photography, and you want to get that tripod down low, your options are either to have a tripod whose legs go out really, really flat, or to have a tripod where the head inverts, the column inverts, and you're hanging the camera upside down. Those are your options with a full-size tripod, but this will give you the ability to put that camera super low on the ground and get it exactly where you want it to be positioned, which is pretty neat. Travis saying, guessing we'd use this with a small ball head. Yes, that is right. I have this one, which is quite large for this. The post on here is a 3/16 post, so standard for any ball head. I actually, when I first got it, I didn't have my big tripod head with me, but I did have my where is it? Is it down there? Yeah, it is. Here. Hold on a second. I had this with me, my MePhoto tripod, which is a much smaller travel tripod. And I was looking at this going, oh, I wish I could take the head off of this. And I thought, hold on a second, I probably can. And so I twisted and I pulled and I pushed and I grunted and I huffed and I puffed. And eventually, there we go, it came off. And so this little head worked out really well for this. So this is, now I didn't want to sacrifice it permanently because I love that tripod, I use it all the time, but there's a smaller ball head on there, so that's the one from the MePhoto. I should actually look and see if I can buy this MePhoto head on its own. This is the Q0, but now you can take a look at the size of this, and that's a really nice small, there we go, nice small combination right there. This one's a bit too big. It's just a little bit too big because the tightening bracket sometimes gets in the way of this. This is better. It doesn't have a protruding bracket. Or not protruding, but what I want to, like an angled bracket. It doesn't have an angled bracket, so there's nothing to hit. So this is definitely a better head for this combination. I'm gonna have to see if I can get another one of these heads, actually. I think that's a good combo right there. SRO, will I be doing this Sean Bagshot trip video? Yes. So, for those who don't know, I went on a trip with Sean Bagshot and a couple other photographers out into the wildness of nature, probably like 2 months ago at this point. And I shot video to do a vlog on it. And when I came back, I said, I am not touching this vlog until I finish this other project. And I finished that other project, which ran right into another project that I've got to finish. Now that project is done. I actually can, now, I have no more excuses. Now I can start editing that vlog. I thought of that the other day. I went, oh my God, I still haven't done that. But thank you for the other reminder. I will absolutely get to working on this. Burns says, what are the materials made of? Are they aluminum, stainless steel? Just curious since I use my gear in harsh environments. I believe it's aluminum, but Platypod can confirm that. I'm pretty sure it is an aluminum plate. Platypod may have had to go. I know they didn't have all the time in the world. Let me see if it says on the, let's see here, in the chat. Yes, it does. Here, let's go, where are we here? Make this nice and big. Oh, that didn't work out so well, did it? Let me just go to the full product page here. I just saw it. Titanium aluminum camera base, and the stud is titanium. So the 3/16 stud is titanium. So aluminum and titanium. There you go. So yes, definitely robust. Should last you for a very, very long time. Okay, is there anything else I missed? There was not. Burns says perfect. I concur. And Sean's saying you should have the Ronin S on Friday. Well, we may do a spontaneous unboxing show of the Ronin S when Sean Mark Nipper gets his Ronin S in. Excellent. Well, so stay tuned for that, guys. You know what to do. Hit the bell, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, last question. D. Scott, do you think the Platypod is good with a camcorder due to the size of camcorders? Well, it would depend on the camcorder, wouldn't it? If you're talking about a little handy cam, absolutely. If you're going to get a bigger one, then I would say you might want to have the bigger base. Part of the advantage of the larger one, because this comes in two sizes, right? Let me go back on here and show you that again. Back up, back up, back up. Are we going to back up? There we go. So there's two sizes. The larger one here, well, it says it's designed to hold up to 300 pounds, which is insane. I think the part of the point of the larger one is being a larger profile. When you put the spikes in it, you have a larger base to keep from tilting. So if you're using a larger camera, or more importantly, a front heavy or back heavy, would be a front heavy camera, wouldn't it, with a lens? A front heavy camera. Because if I put this on here with a really long lens, then there's a limit to how much it'll do before it's going to start to tilt, before gravity's going to win. So a bigger platform would provide for a bigger base for using a larger camera, or a camera that's more front heavy. So that's something to consider. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason we wouldn't work with a camcorder. Why not? Oh, look, Platypod's back. They say we have used full-size ENG video recorders on the Platypod Max. There you go. So if you've got the full-size ENG, that's the big, electronic news gathering, the big guys out in the field kind of news cameras on the Platypod Max. There you go. Superb. Thank you for that, Platypod. Okay. That, my friends, is going to be it. We're going to wrap it up with that today. Thank you for tuning in today to learn all about the Platypod and its fabulous uses. I think it's a really neat product, and definitely one of those easy ones to get for your camera bag, especially the smaller one, $79 Digging it. Love that. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. We'll see you on Friday, where we're going to be talking about the off-brand full-size lens adapter for my for my ancient screw mount M42 lens. I did a terrible job describing that. We'll fix that before Friday. Take care, folks. See you next time. Bye-bye.